everybody. How are you? I don't know if you know, my name is Romero Britto. I'm the founder of the Happy Art Movement. It's a movement of everything to do with art and happiness and hope.
These are the works of Romero Britto. They're joyful, simple, and you may start to notice they're all over the place. But who is Romero Britto? And how did he become so prolific that he is the most licensed artist in history? Let's start with the basics. Romero Britto is an artist, more specifically a contemporary artist who blends pop art with cubist-like abstraction.
And the subject matters that I do. It's very simple, very direct. I'm very consistent on my colors. And then the lines, the stripes, the little things that I put in my work that is part of my vocabulary.
He was born in Brazil to a big family, and growing up was pretty tough.
My mother had like 12 kids. I wanted to get out of the house because it was chaotic.
And little did he know, art would become his ticket out.
Since I was a kid, I always liked drawing, but I never knew that it would change my life.
At age 25, he moved to Miami, where pop art was flourishing.
I was like, you know what? I love America. I love Miami particularly because it's such a dynamic city.
With no formal art training, he would paint on newspapers and on the streets, the only canvases he could afford.
Before I show my work in galleries, I show my work on the sidewalk of Miami.
He was able to move into a small studio, and from there, his career took off. Disney, Coca-Cola, Mattel, Samsung, luggage, lamps, watches, bananas. If you can slap a print on it, odds are there's a Britto version of it. His sculptures are in train stations, shopping plazas, hotels, corporate headquarters. The guy has done the Super Bowl, the World Cup, and the Olympics. So yeah, Romero Britto is everywhere.
How many pieces of art I've done, oh my God, listen, it's pretty hard to keep track of it.
Hundreds?
Like a few thousands.
Romero's art has caught the attention of celebrities and heads of state all over the world.
My color palette is being something that I've been developed for years. First I start using more primary colors, then I start adding pastels, metallics, but I was always very interested and I was very drawn into vibrant colors. And the yellow that I use and all the blues or the reds, I'm very consistent about those. And some of the colors have been inspired about toys that my son played with when he was growing up. I hope when people see my art, they have a big smile on their face and a huge one in their heart. And every time they see over and over again, they remember something special from their lives, and that's basically, for me, will be a huge accomplishment. Everything about my work is things that I think is very pleasing to my eyes and to my heart and make me feel good because life should be about fun.
Hi, so today we're going to have a go at drawing some portraits inspired by Romero Britto. First thing we're going to do with our piece of paper is fold it in half and then turn it back around landscape. So we've got one, we're going to do a boy on one side and we're going to do a girl on the other. I'm going to use pen. You might want to use pencil first so you can rub it out and you can go over in pen when you have finished. We're going to start with his chin. So we're going to make a V shape in the middle of our box. Then we're going to do a straight line up to the side of his head. And we're going to do one on the other side, but when we get to the top, we're going to curve it round slightly. So we're going to end about here. So up and round. Then we're going to go from this point here, and we're going to curve around, and we're going to go to the side of his head, so about here. Then we're going to do his head, it's going to sweep across his head. So we're going to go from this point here to this point. So we're going to go down and curve it round to meet that point. We're going to do the same on the other side, but we're going to go from a little bit further down and we're going to sweep across to the side of his head. So I've just done 2 points, so I know where I'm going. I'm going to go from there to there. So I'm going to do a curved line. It might be that you want to turn your paper and curve upwards. There we go. Next thing we're going to do is his nose. We're going to do a little point again from his hair. So it's roughly in the middle of his head. We're going to come down and out. So it's slightly diagonal. So to the point of his nose. Then we're going to do a line across. So it's like an L on his face. Then we're going to do his nostril, which is a little bit, if I turn my paper, it's going to be the letter C. There we go. For his mouth, it's a little line here. So it's going to start in line with his nose, and it's going to go a little bit further across from his nose, and it curves. So I'm going to go from here and curve it upwards. So it's almost following this line. And then underneath, we're going to do a little dimple shape. His eyes are going to be start in line with the middle of his nose. I'm going to do a little point for myself, and we're going to curve up. We're going to go under and up. So under and up. Same again on the other side. So roughly about the same space on this side of the face. So I'm going to go from here to here. So this one I'm going to do one line like this. And then on his cheek we're going to do a circle. And we're going to put 2 lines through that. And then on this side we're going to do a heart. Nice and big. Right, so for his hair, I'm going to do another sweeping line that's going to come down and across to meet the side of his head. Again, it might be easier if you turn your paper. So we're going to go that. And then we're going to add some stripes. So adding that pattern that Romero Britto uses lots of stripes and spots. So I'm going to do some stripes on this side. You might want to put some circles on this side. It's up to you, or any of the other patterns that you've had a go at practicing. Okay, next thing we're going to have a go at is his body. So we're going to do his collar first. So we're going to start on this side, and it's almost like a triangle coming out. So we're going to come down, and then we're going to go back in. And then same again on the other side, we're going to come out, and then we're going to put a line in to make a triangle. Then down his front, we're going to add a line that starts this side of the face, this is his chin. And come down, and then we're going to do another one the other side of his chin. And then we can add his buttons. We're going to add his shoulders next. We're going to go from this point where this collar meets his face, and we're going to curve around and down. So it's almost an L, isn't it? And same again on this side, so we're going to come out from here, curve round and down. So we've got 2 L's either side. Now I'm going to add the side of his chest in. So we've got a line down here. We've got another line on the other side. So it's almost in line with his point on his collar. I've just gone in a little bit further. Okay? And then we can add the rest of his arm. So we're going to take this line down further, and we're going to bring it in to his body. So it's like he's got his arms behind his back. So I've just done a little point where I want my arm to end up. So I'm going to come down and then swoop it in. And then same again on the other side. So do a little dot. I want it to come in on the same and level with that arm. So swoop it down and in. Now Britto puts a background behind some of his objects that he draws, so we're going to put in a divide down the middle so we can have 2 different patterns on 2 sides. So this I'm going to colour in black. So when I've got my felt pens or crayons later, I'm going to colour that in black. And then I'm going to do background behind. I'm going to do stripes on this side, or I could do spots, and I'm going to do some of those more complex patterns on this side. But again, you can look at and see what he uses, and you can have a go at copying it. So I'm going to do some hearts, circles. He has these kind of leaf patterns. He has lines and circles, and then he has these kind of spirally ones. He has kind of letter. Okay, when we've done the boy, we're going to move on to the girl. So we're going to start with the same thing. We're going to start with her chin again, so it's the same shape. We're going to go with the V, go down to a point and up. So it's kind of an open V. It's not too sharp. It's not going up. It's going out. Then we're going to do the line up for the side of her face and another one on the other side. Okay, add her neck in. So we're going to do a line on this side, coming out slightly, and a line on this side, and then we're going to divide that down the middle, and then we're going to do her top collar. So her hair sweeps across her face. We're going to go from just outside the line, and we're going to sweep across, and we're going to go right up. So we're going to be higher than the lines we've already got, and we're going to do a sweeping motion. So again, it might be easier for you to turn your paper and go underneath. There we go. Then we've got another line that joins here, and it sweeps down to this line, and then we're going to sweep out to here. So we're going to go down to the line, so curve round and down to make that line already. And now we're going to sweep the other way, so we're going to go down towards that point. Right, so we're going to box that in now. So I'm going to just take this up a little bit higher. We're going to go from this point, we're going to go up and down to meet this line here, to this point. So I'm going to sweep up and down to meet that point. So that's the start of her fringe. Then we're going to continue this line further down to about halfway of her neck. So I'm going to come right the way down. So it's in line about halfway of her neck. And then we're going to do a line that sweeps across a bit like a hill. So again, I'm going to turn my paper so it might be easier. So we're going to go from this point, we're going to curve round to meet her neck. Okay? A bit like an L. Right, now I need to do hair on the other side. So again, we're going to start this time, so not in line with this one, we're going to come across a bit. So further across on this side, and we're going to go up and down to meet this point here, like we did on the other side, but it's a longer curve now. So I'm going to go up and down to meet that point. Here we go. So like we did on this side, we're going to bring it down. This one's going to come down a little bit longer now. So I'm going to aim for about here. So it's almost in line with the bottom of her neck. So bring that line down to the bottom. I'm going to curve it in slightly. And then we're going to do a line that sweeps to meet her neck. There we go. So I've got her hair. I'm going to put a line in here just to give her some layers in her hair. So I'm going to come from this point that we've already got, and I'm going to come down. So it comes in towards her face. And I'm going to curve this out and back round. So it's almost like an S shape. So I'm going to go in towards her hair and then out. And I'm going to do the same on the other side, so I'm just going to put a line down the middle, so it's like it's a bit like an S, so you're going in towards the face and then out towards the hair and then back in. So a wiggly line. I'm going to add another one down here, and another one that curves inwards this way, down at the bottom. And I'm going to add one more down here. So I've given myself lots of space to add lots of different patterns for later. Right, let's do her nose next. So her nose is going to come down. It's going to come down from the middle of this line here. And we're going to curve around to a point. So curve curvy kind of line that curves out to the point of her nose, and then we're going to do a line that curves in. And then turn your paper again, you can do a little C on that line for her nostril. A bit like Picasso, we're going to divide the face. So we're going to start in line with the end of her nose, and we're going to curve around to meet her chin. I'm going to turn my paper, make it easier for myself. Then across that line we're going to do a smiley face. If I turn my paper, it's a bit like a C again, a curly cat. There we go. Now time for her eyes. So similar to the boys on this side, we're going to do very similar eyes, so like closed. So I'm going to come just above her nose, and I'm going to curve down, up and out. Then I'm going to do another one on the other side. So I'm going to start in line with that one, curve down and up to meet the line. Because we're not going to see, because it's almost like it's the side of her face, so we don't see that side because it's round the side, it's going around. So I'm going to add a heart on this side of her cheek like I did on the boys, and then I'm going to do a circle here, and this time I'm going to divide the heart up. Looking good, guys, well done. So she has some eyebrows we're going to add. So we're going to start here and we're going to do a line that curves down slightly towards her eye. It's going to be a straight line down, and then we're going to curve it up to meet that point. And then similar on the other side, we're going to start from the line that we've already got, and we're going to curve out. And then it's a bit like adding another triangle, so we're going to start from the point here and we're going to curve in towards the nose line we've already got. Last thing for her face I'm going to add is a little ear here. So we're going to curve up, round, and then back down to the face. And then in there, in the middle, I'm just going to add a little arrow. And I'm going to put some lines in her eyebrows, and I might put some spots on this side. Okay, last thing we need to add is her chest and her shoulders and arms. So we're going to start on this side, and we're going to curve down and out. That's going to be her shoulder. Then I'm going to come across a little bit, and we're going to do a big curved line that goes down, and that's going to be her body. Okay, I'm going to take her shoulder and I'm going to do a straight line that connects these two lines. And then another straight line that comes down from halfway here to halfway between these two lines that goes straight down, that's her arm. There we go. So now we need to add her other shoulder. Turn my paper, and this shoulder is almost like a big curly cat, a big C. Shoulder, we're going to do a line across, join them up, and then we're going to add her arms. So we're going to start right here and we're going to go down and do a line to the side of it. Now we can add some pattern. So on her hair I'm going to add some stripes. Again, you can choose a pattern from the practice sheet. I'm going to do some circles in here. And then like I did on the other side, we're going to divide the background to put a background in. So I'm going to do some thick line down the middle, and then this side I might do stripes, this side I might do some of the other patterns we've looked at. And when you finish, guys, you can use felt tips, you could use crayons, you could use paints to colour it in. So have a look at the pictures from Romero Britto that I've put on the PowerPoint and think about those bright poppy colours. Good luck!